Nobody's hands are clean. Both sides are at fault in Israel-Hamas war, says Barack Obama. Former U.S. President Barack Obama has called on Americans to take in the whole truth about the war between Israel and Hamas, saying that everyone has some responsibility for the conflict. Before we dive in details, please subscribe to the channel and stay always one step ahead to know all global important events happening around you. Give a thumbs up and share the video with your family and friends. Let's move on with the video. Nobody's hands are clean, he said in an interview with Pod Save America, a podcast hosted by his former White House staffers in a clip released on Saturday. He said that both Hamas's actions and Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories were horrific and unbearable, and that the only way to resolve the crisis was to acknowledge these realities. He also said that the history of the Jewish people and the madness of anti-Semitism should not be ignored, and that there were innocent people dying on both sides. We could go on for a while, he said. Obama criticized social media for polarizing the debate and creating a space where people only defended their own moral innocence. The problem with the social media TikTok activism and trying to debate this on that is you can't speak the truth. You can pretend to speak the truth, you can speak one side of the truth, and in some cases you can try to maintain your moral innocence. But that won't solve the problem, he said. If you want to solve the problem, then you have to take in the whole truth, Obama said, and you then have to admit nobody's hands are clean, that all of us are complicit to some degree. The war between Israel and Hamas erupted on October 7th, when the Palestinian militant group launched a surprise attack on Israel, killing about 1,400 people and taking more than 200 hostages. Israel retaliated with a relentless bombing campaign of the Gaza Strip, where Hamas rules. The Gaza Health Ministry, which is controlled by Hamas, has claimed that more than 9,000 people have died in Gaza so far, but its figures have been questioned, given Hamas is a terrorist organization. Obama admitted that he also felt guilty for the conflict, and wondered if he could have done more to prevent it when he was president. He had a tense relationship with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who he disagreed with over the Iran nuclear deal and the expansion of Israeli settlements in the disputed areas. He urged Americans not to confine ourselves to outrage, but to listen to different perspectives. If you genuinely want to change this, then you've got to figure out how to speak to somebody on the other side and listen to them and understand what they are talking about and not dismiss it, he said. Obama's stance also carries considerable weight in shaping public opinion. As a respected figure, his views could sway many Americans, further driving the shift towards a more balanced understanding of the conflict. This change in public sentiment could influence the actions of politicians who are sensitive to the views of their constituents. Now, let's turn to the diplomatic front. Obama's stance could impact the relations between Israel, Palestine, and the U.S. A more even-handed U.S. approach, as suggested by Obama, could help to rebuild trust and open new avenues for dialogue and negotiation. This could be a vital step towards rekindling the peace process. Furthermore, Obama's views could also influence the broader Middle East peace process. His stance sends a message to other nations and entities involved in the conflict. It could prompt a reevaluation of their own positions, fostering a more balanced and nuanced approach to the conflict. This could, in turn, create an environment more conducive to peace negotiations. Finally, let's not forget the potential implications for future conflicts. Obama's stance could set a precedent for how the U.S. approaches similar situations in the future. It could encourage a shift away from unequivocal support for one side towards a more balanced approach that considers the rights and concerns of all parties involved. In essence, Obama's stance on the Israel-Hamas war could have far-reaching implications, influencing both the course of current conflicts and the prospects for future peace.